Welcome to Muscle Maintenance with InShape Fitness. I'm Coach Kim and I'll be your trainer. Today is Wednesday, June the 26th, which means we are doing a level 3 moderate level difficulty workout. No equipment is needed. It's going to take 15 minutes of your time, right? That's it. With summertime here, you're probably outside trying to fit in some boot camps and maybe doing road races or other activities that get you out of the gym, which is great. The problem is you don't want, or you can't really maintain an outdoor exercise routine every single day of the week, or in most cases, you need to exercise 5 or 6 days a week. So you're really not doing something several days a week, and you need those little mini workouts on your off days to keep things really tight, to boost your metabolism, keep your energy levels high, and this routine is going to do that for you. Okay, so stand up real tall. Let's do a quick postural systems check in order to make sure that your back is straight. Your shoulders are back. Your ears line up with your shoulders. And this should be the case at all times. Your chest should be open and you're lifting your rib cage with your breath. Inhale through your nose and deep exhale through your mouth. All right, now make sure that your abs are engaged. Tuck in your tailbone. A lot of sedentary people live with a pelvic tilt, a forward tilt, which pushes the butt out and contracts, puts strain on the lower back. You don't want to do that. You want to keep that tailbone tucked in, stand up really tall, make sure that your weight is even on both your left and your right feet. And let's get started. We're going to march in place. All right, for 30 seconds, make sure, if you're a little more fit, you want to take this to a jog. Perfect. I'm going to start the 30 seconds right now. And if you're marching in place, you're lifting your knee up to about hip level. You want to keep your feet straight. You want to pause at the top just for a fraction of a second, which forces the foot that's on the floor to stabilize your weight, to balance your body weight on the one leg. And if you are jogging in place, you want to really kick those heels back. You can add a shoulder press for the last 6 seconds. Here we have 6 seconds to go. And now we're going to do the windmill move to warm up your back. All right, so take a big step out with your right leg. Clasp your hands above your head. Your arms should be straight. You're going to keep your back straight, hinging at your hip. Rotate the body down to the right, making a big giant circle. Point your fingers to the floor, and then lift up, completing that circle, the revolution, up to the left. One more time, down to the right and up to the left. And now switch directions and rotate the body down to the left. Really try to stretch through the lower back now, pointing your fingers to the floor and then lift up to the right. Last time, down to the left and up to the right. Okay. So we began yesterday with the first position of ballet. We're going to continue with that. Though you can take a sort of a stance where it's the second position of ballet. Your heels aren't quite touching. If your heels are a few inches apart, about 6 to 8 inches apart, it's fine. We're going to do a little more of a deep plie. We did a demi plie or just the pose yesterday. Today we're going to go a lot deeper in terms of that knee bend. All right, so you're going to get your body ready, contract your abs, make sure your back is straight, your pelvis is straight up and down. Your arms can either be out in front, channeling your inner ballerina here, or up over your head. Bend the knees, lowering the body for 30 seconds, inhaling on your way down and then exhaling as you lift back up. All right, we're really working the lower body in these first two moves because we're going to do a pretty dynamic squat in the second exercise. And that means that your quads are going to get really tired. But if you focus on the use of the right muscles, your glutes, you can help mitigate that extra fatigue that your quads are going to feel. All right, you've got a few more seconds. Finish the one that you're on and then straighten your feet out now, so that your pinky toes and heels line up, and then sit down and back into an imaginary chair. As you inhale, pause at the bottom for a fraction of a second. That allows your body and your brain to catch up to one another so that momentum doesn't help your ass. Gets your body back up to the standing position. All right, 30 seconds starts now. You really want to focus on this, right? Because people do squats all the time and they do them wrong. And I obviously can't force you to do them correctly. But if you get your brain in the game here, really focus on the use of your tushy to lift your body back up, squeezing all the way, making sure that your hip flexors extend fully when you're in that standing position. You are going to balance out the use of the muscles in your leg and thus achieve so much more from the ever important squats, which we love, of course, as a group. And by that I mean trainers across the world. All right, now we're going to do a walk out push-up. All right, that means you're going to squat all the way down, put your hands on the ground, walk out to push-up position. Do one push-up. Make sure your hands are in use completely, so use your fingertips, use the top part of your palms, bend those elbows, get your nose close to the floor, then lift up and walk your hands back and stand all the way up. 30 seconds, time starts now. Make sure that you're breathing. All right, we're about 6 minutes into the session, about 5 minutes into the workout, and you want to make sure that you're inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. It's vital that you take your air in through your nose. Finish the one that you're on, by the way. We're right at that 30 seconds. And you want to end up on your back. So turn over and let's get into the hip bridge position. All right, so now your feet are on the floor. Knees are in the air. Your feet are hip width apart. Your toes and heels are in line. Your hips come up into the air. Your arms extend down the length of your body. All right, and I want you to do a couple of dips up and down. I'm going to start the clock now. 30 seconds is going. So you inhale on your way down. You exhale as you lift back up, keeping your toes down, keeping your back straight. Don't tilt your pelvis as you lift up. Abs engaged. And now stop at the top. The last 10 seconds, I just want a little pulse, really focusing on squeezing your tushy for 6 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, now we're going to do a bent knee crunch. So all you're going to do is bring your hands behind your head. I want your legs up in the air, feet in the air, legs at a 90 degree angle at your knees. Now pretend once again that I'm standing over your body, wrapping a rope around your sternum, pulling you up chest first. So take a deep breath in as you exhale, lift up. 30 seconds is going. Lower back down slowly. All right, again, when you change directions, so it's called the apex of a repetition. When you stop at the top, you want to stop. Don't just bounce back down, because then gravity does that work. Momentum starts helping you out. And the next thing you know, you're not burning as many calories. And you don't even know it, of course. There's no ticker on your body saying you're burning calories, and it speeds up when you really have good control over your body. But you really want to focus on the potential for that to kind of exist in your brain, because when you move slowly and you really focus and you really squeeze, you can extrapolate so much more effort out of each exercise minute. And that's what we're talking about here. We want to exercise for 15 minutes and get the same effects as when you go to the gym and exercise for 30 or 40 or 50 minutes. All right, last move, up into a tabletop. All right, so sit all the way up. Your hands should be on the floor beside your butt, fingers facing forward. You're going to keep those feet planted on the floor, or get the feet replanted onto the floor. Lift your hips up into the air. So that means you're in a tabletop. So the tabletop itself is your torso and your thighs, your upper legs. Your legs of the table are your lower legs and your arms. All right. Now, lift up one knee and then the other. Real slow. Time starts now for 30 seconds. These are just crab knee lifts or tabletop knee lifts. And you're just focusing on lifting up slowly and then lowering back down slowly as well. Okay. Focus. 15 seconds to go. This is the last exercise of the set. You're going to get a break. And then we'll move on to the second set. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Stand back up for me. Okay, so stand up. We're going to go back to second position of ballet into the plie. And your time is going to start in about 15 seconds. So give yourself a couple of deep breaths. Take a couple of deep breaths. Make sure, I'll quickly plug here, that if you haven't tried it out, you've got about 10 more days of complete free access at inmotionworkouts.com. Again, it's called inmotionworkouts.com. It is my life's work, this formula for developing exercise routines that is customized based on the three variables that you enter, right? Time, number of minutes, the difficulty level, 1 through 5, just like we do with muscle maintenance, and something we call functional focus. And you can read about this on our website, but you really want to go and check it out. Set up a free account and try some of the workouts. We need more feedback on the workouts, and it would really, really help me out. I know you're a listener of these sessions, and these will always remain free, but these other workouts are another really great way to utilize this type of movement where you've got just a few minutes of time and you can maximize your use of your body by really listening to the verbal cues that I give you. Okay, let's get started with the second set of this routine, and then we'll talk about that more at the end. So first position or second position, ballet, demi-plie or plie. If you can go all the way down where your thighs are parallel to the floor, that's great. Time starts now for 30 seconds. Good. Keep going. Inhale on your way down. As you exhale and lift up, remember to press those heels into the floor and squeeze the tushy, the butt. A very underutilized muscle group in the sedentary human body. All right. Moving right along here, let's go to the squat, the dynamic squat. So your feet now are shoulder width apart. Let's turn up the music. I feel like we should be moving a little bit faster. All right, get a little more excited here. Squat all the way down. Sit back in those heels. Your time starts now for 30 seconds for the squat. You don't want your knees to go past the tips of your toes, so it's going to feel like you're sitting back too far. Your toes could wiggle in the air here, but you really want to make sure that you don't let those knees go past the tips of your toes in order to prevent torque on the knees, right? Strain on those knees. And if you carry any extra weight whatsoever, an added pound is 4 pounds of pressure on your joints. So whenever you can, you want to practice exercise moves and cautionary adjustments that help you prevent any joint discomfort. All right, so talk to your doctor if you do have questions about this. But let's move on to the walkout push-up. Go ahead and get started. You know how to do this. Squat all the way down, walk those hands out to push-up position, and your time is going. I love this move. One of my favorites. I have pretty much everybody doing these, from 20-something-year-olds, private clients, to our 30-something-year-old boot camp clients, even into my 60s and early 70-year-old private clients we see here in New York City. So keep it going. Finish the one that you're on and then end up back on your back. We're going to go to the hip bridge. We've got 3 more moves to go. All right, hip bridge. We'll do a little pulse at the top, but your time starts now for 30 seconds. You're lifting up, lowering down just to start now. All right, so really focus on inhaling on your way down. You're going to exhale as you lift back up. And now let's do some pulses. Last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands behind your head. Get those feet up in the air at a right angle. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift up. Last 30. Oh, no, one more move after this. So 30 seconds for the bent knee crunch. Lifting up, lowering down slowly. Remember, I've got that rope wrapped around your sternum. I'm pulling you up chest first. Very good. Keep that going. 5 seconds. 4, 3, squeeze, squeeze, and up in the tabletop. Last 30 seconds. Knee lifts in tabletop. All right, fingers face forward. Your time is going. And this is a hard move, and you feel awkward in it because you're in a contorted position where your chest is uber open, right? You're hyperextending through your chest. But believe me, if you sit at a desk, and pretty much everyone I know does, with the exception of very few people that I know in a fairly large circle of individuals that I know in the city here in New York and around the country, I would say that 95% of the people that exercise on a regular basis do so because they have sedentary lifestyles. And that means that your chest is closed all the time. Forward arms, you're driving or you're computing with, your keyboard. In any case, your last move is over. The exercise routine is finished, and I thank you for joining me today at InShape Fitness. This is Muscle Maintenance from InShape Fitness. Again, please try out InMotionWorkouts.com at any time in for the next 10 days for sure. You can still set up a free account and take advantage of all of the unlimited numbers of workouts. We are launching the membership site sometime in the first week of July, so I will see you back here tomorrow for the level 4 or 5 workout we're going to be doing for this week, and have a great day.